And we're on. How are you?
Morning, my friend. And you? And you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Nice to see you. Nice to see somebody praying in the background over there.
I'm sorry.
You've got a picture of someone praying at the Western Wall.
Oh, that is a wall rug we have, I think. Let's see, what is that? Yeah, that is a wall rug, a wall carpet that we got in the old city one time. We have several of those around. Not others just like that one, but what we call wall rugs.
I'm glad they're wall rugs and not floor rugs, because to walk all over that would not be very nice.
No, they're on the wall. They're hung up on the wall.
I don't know. If it's a picture of somebody praying, maybe it should be on the ceiling.
Yeah, well, we have various ones like that of different scenes in Israel, that keep us reminded of where our real home and destiny is. When Messiah comes in the fullness of his blazing glory and dazzling beauty. Hallelujah.
Let me see if I can repeat that. When the Messiah comes in his blazing glory and dazzling beauty. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Is that a well-known phrase, or did that just roll off your tongue automatically somehow?
It just comes. So
what will life be like? What will life be like after the Messiah comes, sir? Will you still need to pay your fare on the metro?
No. Oh, no. Won't have to have any airline tickets or wait at the airport.
Okay, but maybe you'll want to travel for a change, for a change of pace.
Well,
you're in the Galilee. You want to go to Jerusalem. You're in Jerusalem. You want to go to the Galilee. How are you going to do that?
You'll think it, and you'll be there.
So, in other words, after Messiah comes, total change of nature. We will be living in absolutely miraculous times.
Well, we can get a taste of that now, of course. God never stops doing what he does. So, speaking of miraculous times, tell me about your trip to Dubai. That had to be a miraculous trip for you.
It was absolutely tremendous. And one thing that was wonderful was that my wife and I were seeing eye to eye on things.
That always helps.
Tourist destinations are usually some sort of a exciting experience, going on a roller coaster. So I can't talk 100% about my wife, but for me, I say, I don't care too much about a roller coaster. What I care about is to talk to people who are different than me. Have you noticed that?
People.
I like to talk to people, and especially people certainly like to, if we bump into an Israeli in Dubai, Ahlan, how are you? Oh, where are you from? Oh, Rosh Hashanah, Petach Tikva. Oh, I'm from Hebron. Oh, very nice. But I don't go all the way to Dubai to talk to somebody from Petach Tikva.
No.
I go to Dubai to talk to somebody from Dubai.
And how did that go?
At first it was going a little less than I was hoping, because I had met some people on Dubai through Twitter, and I was trying to arrange with them to make appointments with them so that we could have some time in Dubai. Now, the fact is that I wasn't looking forward to that so much, because I like meeting people on Zoom, frankly. Bottom line is that none of those people were responding favorably. None of them were saying, sure, let's get together. When is good for you? When is good for me? And make up. Nah. So I was pretty much retired. I was not retired. What's the phrase? I was surrendered. Pardon me?
Resigned.
Resigned. That's right. I was resigned to the fact that I wasn't going to meet anybody, but I said, okay, we'll go with the flow. We'll go with the punches, roll with the punches, and see what happens. And the truth is is that when we went to the expo in Dubai, it's amazing. It's closing at the end of March, so highly recommend. It's closing, but it's what it is now is closing. Evidently, it's still going to be open in some way, not nearly as significant, but something that's they're going to listen. They built a whole trail, a whole metro train line all the way to there. They're not going to close it completely and leave it, a metro train line that goes to nowhere. But there were 190 countries represented, each one with a pavilion.
Wow.
Now, we were lucky. We look like we're over 60. We're actually not. We're under 60. But anybody on the second day that we were there, we got these little senior guest tags that as soon as they saw us coming, they say, "Here, come here, go in without a line, go in." So we skipped many a line. But where we had to skip a line, ultimately it was less exciting because we just walked through. Ooh, look at that sound and light show. Oh, look at that. There's a big wax museum figure. We were having the same excitement as anybody else, but every single place was trying to give us that excitement. It got boring after a while. When we went to the small places, then we were the only people there, and the people who were there were able to talk to us. So have you ever heard of this country called Vanuatu?
No.
So it's a small island country not far from Australia. When I say not far, I mean that it's less than 10 hours flight.
Right. Just over the ocean there.
Just over the bridge, no bridge there. Anyway, so we were there, Deborah and me, and there were 4 people saying, "Oh, how are you?" And so we could talk to them. We went into Jordan. It was me and Deborah and a few other people, and so we talked to the Jordanians there. Oh, we're from Israel. Oh, Jerusalem. It was nice. But really, the nicest place was there were a lot of nice places, but one of the nice places that we liked was, of course, the United Arab Emirates. They had a very, very nice pavilion, and we were able to talk to so many people who were from the United Arab Emirates. But really, it's an amazing place, the UAE, Dubai. Dubai is a city, one of the Emirates in the 7 Emirates that are united. They're very interesting over there. I think I'm going to become an emissary, an ambassador for the UAE.
Anything's possible.
They are Muslims, but they are so open. They want to show how nice they are, how nice Muslims are, how you can be who you are, and we can be who we are, and we can live together, and everything's okay, and it's just wonderful. You remember that? That's right.
Yeah,
so it was just wonderful.
Yeah,
we went to 2 places that weren't in the expo. There was this thing called, I think, the Islam World Center or something like that. The Islam World Mission, I don't remember, Islam World something. And what it was an organization dedicated to sharing the positive aspects of Islam with other people. So they were trying to be nice, and it was very nice. And this fellow, he originally was from Syria. He moved to Saudi Arabia, and there I was. I said, "I'm from Israel." He says, "Great, let's talk." So it was great, to talk to somebody from Syria. We went to the Syrian pavilion, and they were like a little bit afraid to talk to us. And we went to the Palestinian pavilion, and Bichlal, they weren't having any of it. "Oh, you're from Israel? There's no such thing as Israel. You mean you're from Palestine?"
I understand.
Well, it was, I guess I wasn't expecting much better. I mean, I was hoping that, if they send people to the expo, they'll be nicer, but they probably didn't talk about the fact that all the Israelis are going to want to go to the Palestinian pavilion.
How did your wife relate to the people?
Same way. She was also very open.
Did she meet any women that she connected to?
I think so. Listen, in the United Arab Emirates, Dubai, there are 10% of the residents are Dubai citizens, UAE citizens. 90% are people on a work visa. And I don't know, some 80 or 70% of them are people on a flipping burgers visa, let's call it. They're the ones who drive the taxis.
I understand.
And who ride the metro. Not we didn't see a single Kodora, I think it's called, one of those white things that all the citizens wear. It was interesting. But
so did you meet any UAE citizens?
Oh yes. So what we did is somehow I decided to look up UAE museums, and I found that I don't know if it's the biggest mosque, but a big mosque, and a mosque built especially for the people. I don't know exactly what it was. We went to visit this mosque. It's called the Jumeirah Mosque. And we looked out that they had a guided tour of that mosque exactly on 2:00. It was 1:45, whatever it was. We made it there just in time. And I hope you don't mind this, the guide there was a former Christian woman who lived in London, or I don't know where. She married an Emirati. She became she decided to become a Muslim. And she's been a Muslim in the past 20, 30 years, living in Dubai. And she's an English speaker. She gave a tremendously good presentation of Islam and Muslim prayer and the mosque. It was very, very nice. So she spoke for 45 minutes. Then Deborah and I each asked a question, and three other people also asked questions. And then we stuck around for another half hour and asked her all sorts of questions. She was just so nice and so open. She was spinning a little bit. We might have asked her some tough questions, but she knew how to spin them. And then we went to, and she's an employee of this thing called the Sheikh Mohammed Muslim Cooperation and Community with Others organization or something like that. So we went to that office, and they have another presenter. There are a dozen presenters, and each one takes a different time. Somebody whose job is to, when somebody comes in, they welcome them in, and they sit them down, and they start talking to them about whatever they want. Isn't that beautiful?
It's beautiful.
It was great. It was just great. I got their email addresses and their WhatsApp, and hopefully I'll be in touch with them. Maybe next year I'll be a Muslim. Who knows? I don't think so. I've been talking to great Christians for a decade, and I'm still Jewish. I think I'll stay Jewish. So that is mostly the quick description of what we did there.
And how were your accommodations?
Deborah loved it. I slept, so it wasn't such a big deal for me, you know. We had a little problem at the end because there's an issue right now between Israel and Dubai regarding airlines and security in the airports and stuff. So a lot of Israeli flights are being canceled, and wouldn't you know it, one of those flights was our flight home. So a day and a half before we were slated to fly, we were on Wednesday evening at about 6:00. We got an SMS, a notification that our flight is canceled, and be in touch with El Al to reschedule. So you can't get through to them in any way. And our flight was slated to be midnight Thursday night, and we were expecting every day. We got up at 7. We went to sleep at 11. We were out from 9 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, just going to places and doing things. It was great.
Were you walking or driving?
No. We didn't do any driving. Luckily, my wife reminded me, why the hell should you drive? We have a super cheap metro for like $1. You can go for an hour on the metro. and for in a cab, maybe for $15. It was just not worth it to ride it and then you have to, you'd have to fill up gas. So luckily she reminded me of that, so I didn't think about it. And it was great. So we got all around. There's a large Jewish tourist area, obviously a lot of Israelis, but we stayed by a Jewish synagogue by Chabad, if you've heard of Chabad, where they run morning prayers. So every morning I got to pray with a minyan, with a quorum, and that was lovely. We also celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. We ate out at one of the 3 kosher restaurants.
What did you have? Lamb?
I actually had lamb. I think it's lamb. It's called asado. No, maybe it's ribs, spare ribs. I don't know. I'm on a water fast most of the time. I'm not too good at what food is. But we enjoyed ourselves. And in fact, my sister gifted us that meal also. So that was also good. And then they came out with a free dessert for us. Everything was good. It was because I told everybody 25th wedding anniversary, 25th, so everybody gave us a bit. But at the wedding, at that meal, we got this message. Flight canceled. So for a day and a half, we were worried about the flight. So we missed the last day of doing stuff, but that's okay. We think we're going to go back. We're going to find a cheaper hotel. We're going to fly on a cheaper time. And we'll go for 3 or 4 days. It'll cost us maybe $300 between the two of us, including everything. Why not?
So what happened?
What happened? What? But at the end, we ended up flying, instead of on the midnight El Al flight that was canceled, we flew at the 7 o'clock flight. But we were on standby, so we had to get there at 3 o'clock, and until 5:30, the guy was saying, we'll get you. Don't worry, but stick around. So we were worried, of course, until the last minute. That's it. Anyway,
did you take a lot of pictures? Did you take? We took a lot of pictures.
They're all on Facebook and on Google. And really, for us, listen, my wife and I, so you know me, so I am very open. I say, if you and I have all the same ideas, then why would I bother talking to you? One of us is redundant. So I always like to talk to people who are different than me. And so my wife is like that also. But we live in a community that a lot of people are not like that. They really like to hang out with people who are just like them. But a little bit, I tell people that I'm in Dubai. So some people say, Dubai, why did you go there? That's like not Jewish. Like, why? Like, why would you leave Israel at all? Which there is something to be said about that. But, but other people said, wow, it must have been so cool. I said, yeah, you should go. Wow, I think I'll go. It's nice.
So give me your summary thoughts of what perspective you got from this trip.
Give me a little more of a leading question over there.
Okay. What did you come away with your observations of this trip? Observations.
First of all, Dubai is first of all, it is well known. If you look it up on the internet, it is the 3rd safest place in the world. We actually made it, and I saw a police station. I went into the police station and spent a half hour talking to the policeman because he said, what do we need? What do we need you guys for over here? There's no crime here. It's clean. It's no crime. People are nice to each other. I never had to stand up on the subway. People got up for me all the time. People are just nice. And my understanding was, you've certainly been to a convention, right? To a chicken growers convention. I don't know. I've been to the NRB, the National Religious Broadcasters Convention. Yeah, you've probably been there. And I've probably been to other conventions also. So what goes on at a convention? All the people who are there in order to present their company, they're on their best behavior.
Right.
And of course, the people who are coming to a convention, they're not there to pickpocket anybody. They're there to be good, nice people coming to a convention, also trying to do business. And what about the people in the hotel? They're in the hospitality industry, so they're also on their best behavior. And what about the people in the stairwell sweeping up? They're also on their best behavior. They're working for the hotel. So basically, when you come to a convention, everybody's on their best behavior. Dubai is a 24/7, 365 convention. That's what they've come to the conclusion.
I think you should be their spokesperson.
I think so.
Did you get any souvenirs?
Endeavor made sure to get some souvenirs. I picked up some free books that people were throwing, some swag and stuff like that. We'll see. I love being home. I love being in Israel. But traveling to Dubai was exciting. Again, you have to understand, we Israelis, especially we people who live here near Hebron, our understanding is anybody who's an Arab, unless he's been introduced to you, you got to worry about something like that. A Muslim, an Arab here, they're Palestinians, they're if not them, their cousin, if not them, their cousin's cousin is a potential terrorist who wants to stab you. That's the way it is around here. What can you do? In New York, you've been to New York, you go on the subway, you keep your wits about you. Maybe that guy who's crazy maybe he's gonna start pummeling you. Who needs this? I like hanging around with normal people. So you go to Dubai. I was also in Jordan. I went to Jordan to visit American Christians. So they said, "Oh, it's very nice here, but just in case, wear a hat. Don't wear a kippah." In Dubai, it's not like that. Oh, I saw you. You're wearing that. Oh, you must be from Israel. Oh, we love Israel. Oh, you're Jewish. We love. They reach out to you. They're nice. Something we're not used to. I'm used to it because of Texas. But from New York and from Hebron, you don't see that as much. So it's delightful to go to a place where you can just be yourself, and people they say it in Hebrew, mechil, that they are accepting. They're there to help you. They're happy for you to be who you are. And really, that's what, and we thought, really, listen, the whole United Arab Emirates started because one of these emirs, one of these sheiks, said, listen, we got to all get together. There's strength in unity. Let's be together, and he was the richest one. He said, listen, I'm the richer. I could do a hostile takeover of you guys. No, let's be friends. Let's do this together. And that's the way we understood that we did. And it took him 3 years to negotiate that. And everybody just loves each other over there. And we hope that, and I really hope that that's the way it's going to be all over the world when the Messiah comes, whether he'll be called Jesus or Belach Mashiach or the Madchi or whatever they call it over there in the Muslims. That's what we're looking for. We're looking towards the Messianic age. Now, if that means that we'll just have to think about it and poof, we'll be on the way from the Galilee to Jerusalem, or if it means, according to my Jewish tradition, that there won't be any changes in nature, but there will be changes in human nature, and people will be nicer, and people will be much more helpful, and people won't want to do bad things. They'll want to do only good things. So entire industries will be erased.
Absolutely.
The industry of the military industry will be erased. There'll be no need for military because everybody's going to love each other. Nobody's going to fight against each other. Pardon me. The porn industry will be erased. There'll be no need for it. Everybody's going to be good. So, and of course, the porn industry today is one of the biggest industries. So when you have all of these unnecessary industries, not unnecessary, right now, the horse and buggy industry is not nearly as big as it used to be. It really doesn't exist. So all of the manpower and brain power that used to be directed towards horse and buggy today is towards cars. And when we'll have autonomous cars, then we'll even have more time to deal with other things. So the Jewish idea is that there'll be so much automation and so little interpersonal friction. So you'll have a lot more people will be able to focus on healing cancer. And so we will have, like we already have today, a lot, we're in much better longevity and health. And what else is there? I'll just spend all day learning God's Torah and talking about God with my friends. That's what life is going to be, right?
Hey, we're doing that now, aren't we?
Exactly. When I was in high school, I discussed with I discussed with a friend of mine. I said, "Listen, I moved to Israel from America, and I think that I'm already in the Messianic age. What else do I need? The Jewish people are coming home. I'm religious. I believe in God, follow God. I love my life. How much better is the Messianic age going to be for me?" He said, "Gidon, you don't know what you're talking about. There is going to be a temple. The temple is discussed in the Bible. 50% of the Torah is talking about the temple. You're going to not even understand how it's moving, what things are going to be. And again, you're only talking about yourself right now. So you're married nicely. Your kids are behaving nicely. Everything's fine. But what about the entire world? What about all those people starving in Japan and in Africa and who knows where? There's a lot more to do as far as the Messianic age is concerned. And of course, from your perspective, not enough people have heard of Jesus. Have heard of the good news of Jesus. And even those who have, they haven't really. So we have all to do. And Islam, it's tragic that my connection with Islam has been, pardon me, on the other side of a dagger, or a language that I barely understand. So I'm very excited. I discovered somebody on YouTube. I spent the last day or two, watching. What's it called when you watch movies one after all the time? I don't remember. Binging this guy's videos. His name is. Let me quickly find his name. 1 second. His name is none other than Khalid Al-Ameri. Khalid Al-Ameri. So Khalid Al-Ameri, he's got like 200 videos. He's got millions of viewers. And all he does, he's a light guy. He's a comedian. But he talks about Islam. He talks about the Dubai, about UAE. He talks about other places. He travels to Pakistan and I don't know where else. And he just is so nice to tell people about other things. It's just tremendous. Just wonderful.
Yeah, I'm glad you had a good trip.
Yep. And so that was wonderful. How have you been for the past 2 weeks, sir? I'm sorry for hogging this whole meeting.
Did you say hogging?
Oops, beef fry.
You're using a non-kosher word here. Oh, no. Well, I wanted to hear about your trip, so please don't apologize for that. Well, what our focus right now is I've got a cataract surgery tomorrow. In my right eye, and then 2 weeks later in my left eye. So you have to put these drops in your eyes, for about a month, really.
Wow.
And you wear a little patch for about a week, and you can't turn over a certain way. So you have to be careful at protecting your eye.
Wow.
So we're getting ready for that. We'll be driving in tonight.
Are you driving?
Well, driving into the town where we're having the procedure.
Who's going to be behind the driver's wheel?
Well, Peggy does all the driving, really. She says I'm too heavenly minded to be driving. You never know where I might end up. In fact, one time many years ago, when we went to see Peggy's family, I I was driving to the family's house there. And for some reason, she wasn't driving. I was driving for some reason, which I rarely ever do.
Okay.
So one of Peggy's nieces saw me driving,
Uh-huh.
and she said, "I didn't think Uncle Richard knew how to drive."
At all.
So I know how to drive, but she does it all, so I can be meditating along the way about different important things.
Wonderful.
So she'll definitely do the driving because I won't be able to see well enough to drive.
Right.
So that's in the morning, and prayers would be appreciated.
I was just about to say, my prayers are with you, my friend.
Thank you. Now, Peggy had this back in November, and she's worn contact lenses for a long time. So we had the kind of procedure where she doesn't have to wear those anymore. So this is a big blessing for her.
Amen.
She doesn't have to wear any kind of glasses at all. And so that's what she got. For me, I don't wear contacts. I just wear my regular glasses. So I'm just getting a more basic procedure. I'll still wear glasses. I'll just be able to see better. Right now, I have to use a flashlight to read my Bible because the print is so small, you know.
So why don't you get a bigger print Bible?
Yeah, well, I'll be able to see the regular print hopefully after tomorrow.
Very good, Bezrat Hashem. I'm praying for you.
Thank you.
And how are things over there? I understand that you're in the Ukraine right now. Am I right?
Wow. Well, we're praying for the Ukraine people for sure. And we're grateful that the Almighty is sovereign and he has his red line, and nobody can cross his red line.
I don't know how much you listen to the news in Houston, but in Israel, of course, we're a very news place, and that's all the news is just about the Ukraine, and it's I think it, of course, it has a lot to do with the fact that this is a potential world war going on over here. But mostly what we're talking about is our cousins and our cousins' cousins who are in the line of fire, and we're trying to get them out. Israel is sending over humanitarian aid and humanitarian teams to try to help get people out of the Ukraine.
I saw some photos of the medical teams on the airplane. I understand there's about 200,000 Jewish people in the Ukraine.
There you go, and another who knows how many in Russia. So we don't really. So it's not so cut and dried who we're supposed to be rooting for. You know what I mean?
Well, you never.
And from time to time, somebody mentions, "Oh, those Ukrainians." Don't think that just because they're the underdog now, they're the ones that we love. They were horrific anti-Semites during the Second World War.
I understand.
We have a long memory.
And you should. I understand. But hopefully there's a newer generation of younger people who don't feel that way, I hope.
Well, hopefully things will change. Listen, I might have said this before in our conversations. Yeshuat Hashem keheref ayin. The salvation of the Lord comes in a twinkling of an eye. And we saw that. You tell me that if you're not thinking about the same thing, what happened in our lifetimes in the twinkling of an eye? It was the fall of the Iron Curtain. It happened overnight. So who knows what's going to happen overnight this week or this month?
God knows. And he's working it for the good of his redemptive purposes. So we can find peace in him, even though evil people cause a lot of suffering on the earth.
Yes.
So
another thing, Hashem, we will overcome that suffering and those evil people. And And as we say, we will not overcome the evil people, but their goodness will overcome those evil people, and they will become good people.
That's what the good book says. Another thing that happened in the twinkling of an eye was in 1948.
Of course.
As the prophet Isaiah said, can a nation be born in a day?
That's
of
right.
course. So we'll discuss that another time, maybe.
Yes, my friend, we've been speaking now. It's been lovely. And let me quickly take a peek at next week, see what next week looks like. Next week is fine. Monday, if you'll be okay at the same time.
Of course, I know I'll be wearing a patch probably, but that's okay.
That's all right.
You might think I'm a pirate.
Don't worry about it. You're on the other side of the Zoom. I'm not worried that you're going to make me walk the plank.
All right.